Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm out on the bike today. This is a little bit of a camping adventure for me, but before we do that, let me introduce you to the neighbours that were my wake-up call this morning. So we've got our little goatee friends.
I thought we were going to get stuck there. We were most definitely digging a hole and sinking. So on an ADV bike with the most empty, gentlest little water crossing, that is called making hard work of it.
And they've got this little goat playground to mess about in. Hello you, aren't you gorgeous? So without further ado, as always in fine biking buddies fashion, grab yourself a brew, strap yourselves in, and let's come with me on this week's Biking Buddies upload. Let's roll VT.
Where do you go when you're young, when you're restless, when you're fun, cause you're desperate? Oh, here they come for a chance, for adventure. What's your poison, what's your pleasure?
Okay then folks, so that's the titles out the way as you've seen, so let me tell you in a bit more detail what we're up to today. I am deep in the Yorkshire Dales National Park. Bike is here, just getting prepped a little bit. I've had all the luggage off the bike. Obviously I was under canvas last night, and this is the campsite per se. Nice, friendly, family run site, and there's ablutions, coffee shop. They even have stone baked pizzas on offer if you choose to do so. So what have I brought with me today? Well, today I have brought with me the Cairngorm 2. Kind of medium-sized tent. It is a two-man tent. The one that I used on the charity event was also a two-man tent, but quite large. So let's have a look at my little abode for this next couple of days. So here we are, the Berghaus Cairngorm 2. Plenty of room, and the reason that I brought this tent primarily is because of the vestibule. The forecast is a little bit showery today but sunny tomorrow, today being the Saturday. So I'm going to ride all day. It's nice and early, the site is just waking up. I've been up for quite a while, so I'm just getting geared up now and I'm going to get underway. So I'm going to finish this coffee off and let's hit the road.
Okay, so we're all packed up. We've got the side panniers back onto the rear section of the bike. I did have them on the front to enable the Krieger luggage to be on the back there. I do think we've had the best of the weather. The weather is filling in from the west, and as we can see looking out skyward, we've got quite a lot of cloud building up, given that we woke up in pretty much unbroken sunshine. So thank you very much to the campsite. We're going to get ourselves underway now, work our way out and pick up the first trail. I'm actually going to sling myself, I'm going to slingshot myself a reasonable way south in the national park, and then I'll work my way back up to here to Marset, and this pretty much is going to be about the 2/3 point on the ride. So once I have completed that, I'll then swing round a northern loop, and hopefully, unless the weather's actually bouncing, then we'll get the coffee bean trail in, we'll work our way across the top of Dodfell and the Roman Road, and we'll end up back here for some hearty food and maybe even a glass of vino, who knows. So let's pick this up when we're pretty much at the start of the ride. So here we are then. I've dispatched a couple of little tracks en route already, just kind of shaking my hand in as it were, and we are now just pushing out onto Kirkby Malzade or Masham Moor, one of the two. I believe it's probably got the same name, to be fair, depending which section that you're on. So we can see it stretching all the way out in front of us there, tantalisingly and inviting us in. Well, this one's to make it. So yes, what we're going to do today, that's better. Right, now then, let me explain a little bit what we're going to do today. We've been across here a few times, not as many as I'd like. This is kind of the south end of the region to where I normally ride. But that said, there are a couple of connotations up here which I haven't done. They are a little bit of a loop as such, so I'm going to have a look at those and just explore. And then we're going to work our way over towards Loft House, down into Nidderdale, and then we've got that climb up towards the top of House Reservoir. We'll have a look off the top of there. It's always stunning, whatever the weather. And then we'll have the rocky descent down towards the dam wall. It is quite steep and rutted, and recently, as we saw in the charity event, we've had quite a bit of weather as well, so I'm expecting a bit of ruttage, etc. across the top. So we'll go over the dam wall, and then we'll climb steep and rugged up onto Dead Man's Hill, and then we're back into a little bit more familiar terrain. So let me get this gate and we'll get across the tops and have a look at these new trails. And this is one of those little connotations, as we can see, as most of Masham Moor or Kirkby Malzade it is It is quite loose and sandy and rocky and rubbly, but wowzers, look at this for a view. I'm looking down towards the Vale of Ripon and heading south. Absolutely incredible. And this is one stony, rocky, rubbly path, that is for sure. But it's good, just as with the last videos, just to get into some slightly new areas, or areas that I already know. But generally speaking, just some newer or new to me trails. These aren't new trails by any stretch. Wonder what this section would be like in the pouring rain. Yeah, that's quite steppy there. But it's good fun, and it's nice to be out. It's certainly nice to be camping as well. That is one thing that is absolutely fantastic, and I love about the T7 is you can just load it up with a bit of camping gear and get yourself away. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of a dilemma, a little bit of a decision. We've just come down one side of the track, bit of road section, back to here, going back straight up there. The farmer's got a whole heap of cattle. I can see there's some calves there as well, so these are female cattle with calves. I don't really fancy disturbing them. I don't think they're going to stampede me in any way, but looking down at the mappage there, what I would essentially be doing is herding them back up towards the farm, and that's maybe the last thing I want to do just for a stretch of trail. So I'll just backtrack back the way that I've come and just keep the peace with the farmer, and obviously not disturbing the livestock. Kirby Malseed, it's one of those, when you're looking at it on the map and you're planning the route out and you're kind of looking at the green road map, just checking the legalities still there, etc., it never actually looks that far or that big. I mean, obviously places like Rudland Rig, they're very long, and yeah, certainly when you're up here you feel like you're riding for, like, you know, a long time. Stay there, Mr. Sheep. Thank you. Yeah, it feels like you're riding for quite some considerable time. But yeah, this is fantastic. Just, again, sense of elevation, very plateau-esque. That's synonymous with what the moors and the Yorkshire Dales are famed for, really. They're not peaks like the Lake District, not by any stretch. But yeah, they are very good fun. And that sense of just barren, open, wild emptiness. It's great on a summer's day like today, but winter time, yeah, wow. The winds and the rain and the sleet can whistle across here. Oh, now I don't want to put the kibosh on this, but looking down there, 17, 18 degrees, we're in and out of the sunshine. It's not quite blazing saddles, as it were, thankfully. 17, 18 is a very pleasant temperature to be riding in as we're making this incredibly beautiful descent down into Nidderdale. This is absolutely fantastic today, utterly loving this. And the beauty about the T7 that I absolutely love is the outright versatility of this bike. You can load it up with gear, as I did yesterday evening, throw a tent on the back, throw your provisions on the back, get yourself based deep into the area you want to be in. Yorkshire Dales for me, for example, tent set up first thing this morning, done dusted, waking up with the larks, all of the wildlife around you on the bike, and you're just straight into it. And that is what I really like. And the other thing that is absolutely fantastic is the fact I know the camp is already set up, the tent is there, everything's sorted. I'm just straight back, nice shower, and get some food on the go. Having had hopefully a fantastic day, and we're only really scratching the surface so far. So we're just pulling up over to the tops to drop down towards House Reservoir. That's down in front of me, and we are on our litter picking duty. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this is, but there's no need for it to be there. So we'll get that in the bag, and as we're passing a bin when we go through one of the little villages, we'll empty the bag out and get rid of it. There's a bit more. It is quite unsightly, as well as posing a bit of a risk to the wildlife as well. So I'm going to get this strapped in the bike, and we'll get over the top and have a look at how fantastic the reservoir, Dead Man's Hill opposite, looks. And I'm really pleased so far. We had, I think it was about a 50-50 chance of rain today, so I guess it's flip a coin, but we're landing very much jam side up today, which is very nice indeed. And it literally doesn't take us long from that gate before we can start to pull out, and we can see Nidderdale ahead of us there, Dead Man's Hill on the opposite side, and that very infamous climb that just puts a little bit of a knot in the pit of your stomach. And there we are. Always leave the bike in gear. What an amazing, amazing place this is. Are you going to stay there, bike? Just roll you forwards a little bit. Better. Yes, what an amazing place this is. Just have a look at that. Deadman's directly opposite. We can see the track there just traversing the contour of the hill, disappears through the trees, and then it climbs extremely steeply up that little gully. Bit breezy from over there towards the west, but I certainly can't see any big dark clouds building as they were this morning, so fingers crossed we're going to stay bone dry and nice and warm all day. Speaking of which, let's get a drink, get these fluids up, because I think we're going to need it for this descent. Might even get peg cam rigged up. 2, 1. Let's get ourselves down House Reservoir. This is going to be interesting. Looks very, very bouldery. Okay, so we're all done and dusted now. Fluids topped up. This very much is, for me, a second gear hill. Plenty of engine braking. And just try to maintain that momentum so that ultimately we can keep the bike moving. So you kind of lose sight of the trail once you're at the top there. You can see those first sections that are very rough, and here we go. Yeah, it is quite stony by comparison to the last time that we came. So that section there arguably is one of the, I would say, worst bits, one of the more challenging bits. And then we hang a right here, and we do the same again on the hairpin, and we have a couple of steppy bits to deal with later on. So let's just keep that momentum moving if we can. Whoop, bit of a dab. Just going to check that camera. Yep, just a little bit of a dab there. Just run out of talent and run out of momentum. So note to self, keep the bike moving just a little bit quicker. There we go. I don't want to say that's kind of the tricky stuff done, but that's the tricky stuff done. The views that we get off the top are just amazing. I know I've said it before, but you know, how many times do you get to ride across the damn wall? I think it's absolutely fantastic, and what a place to come riding and just hone those skills a little bit. And there we are. We are down now. We've just got this very gentle gravel trail that takes us down to the damn wall. Okay, that's it. It's coming to the end of the damn wall. Incredibly low water levels, and this little section is for Mick. Mick is a loyal subscriber. He's been subscribed to this channel for many, many years, and every time that I come and do this route, he always wants to see the climb on the northern side of Scar House. Well, here you go then, Mick. Here's the climb for you, buddy. It is a little bit lumpy and bumpy, but it's certainly more than doable on pretty much any adventure bike on mostly 50/50 tyres, or even less, to be fair. It's a bit of a momentum hill, as you can see. You do climb quite steeply. Once you're up at the giant bench, then pretty much you're off this cobbled stuff. There we go, and you're just onto a normal gravel trail, and away we go. There we are. We now pick the contour up, and we basically follow the contour along the side and the escarpment of House Reservoir. So there you go, Mick. Hopefully you enjoyed that little section. 2, 1. Bit of peg cam, bit of Deadman's Hill. Going to leave the gate because there are some mountain bikers directly behind me, and they did say leave the gate, we are on our way. So that's quite good for me, because it'll just enable me to get a little bit of momentum before we hit the gnarly stuff. Okay, so whilst I've done this one a few times before, it still kind of fills you with a little bit of dread. So there won't be much narration, folks, just onboard concentration. Here we go. Leave the gate, those mountain bikers are right behind me. So there's the gate. Oh, it's a to me gate. And I am relieved to see that. Second half, Dead Man's Hill, the steep ascent with the rocky outcrop to cap us out. If I said I was hot, man, I would not be lying at all. Okay, let's go for it. Managed to stay on pace this time. And here's a couple of bikes as well. Morning! Hello! Couple of T7s. So we're up on the top now of Dead Man's, and then we're going to make the descent down into Arkleside. What a superb day. Ooh, loose sand. Got to accelerate through that. Wowzers. A little bit more to the north, there's a bit of cloud gathering now. And how's our TRF gate holding up? That is looking pretty damn good. As the TRF group, I think, from memory, I think it was a gentleman called Tony. Forgive me if I'm wrong there, Tony, who's not Tony. Let's get rid of you guys. He effected a repair on this because the hinge post itself was all split and gnarled with the winter. The actual gate post itself, again, split and gnarled, so we put a lot of Britain on there, sorted another block out here, just to make sure that we got better stock control, and thankfully the efforts of the TRF under the Pathkeeper scheme have kept this gate exactly where it needs to be. It may be that springtime next year we might need to look to replace that gate, but at the moment, yeah, wowzers, a little bit of cloud gathering just in the afternoon, but so far so good. So yes, that's lunch provision. We're going to have our lunch at a little spot just up on the West Whitton Trail. Always a nice little spot. And first we're just going to dive down here, just make sure the traffic has seen me slowing. Yes, it has. That's good. So hopefully, yes, peg cam is down there. This track is dual track and very quickly disappears into single track, and then very quickly disappears into single track rocky, kind of just a stream basically. It'll be dried up today obviously, but yeah, it's basically a stream bed, so when it is particularly wet there can be quite a bit of water flowing down here, and then you get to some barns I think there are, and it quickly disappears. Yes, here we are, not even barns, fields. So yes, this is basically what we're left with, which is quite a rocky descent. Oh, it is overgrown. That's a bit problematic for visibility anyway. It does get a little bit narrower later on. Here's the barns. Is there a gate there now? Wow, I don't think I've ever seen a gate here. I know the gate's for the gate is to let the livestock through the field, but this is where it gets narrow. So, peg cam, are we still there? Yes, we're still there. I'm gonna have to swing this gate open again when I'm through. Right, let's stop down here. Okay, gotta be responsible, gotta sort these gates out. So, dual track down to single track, and this really is where the stream bed would ordinarily run during the winter months. So try not to kick peg cam for you guys. Are we still on? Yes, we're on. Not quite sure it was a good idea coming down here, Paul, on your own. It is one of those rut jobs. I must admit this is better in the winter when you can actually when you can actually see. I'm kind of just feeling the trail at the moment. There we are, we're opening up a bit. Much better. Much better. That narrow rut is, you know, for me that's pushing my skill levels. And it's really one of the few times, oh well, one of the many times, but it's can't see, but it's one of the times where I really feel the weight of the bike. And right at the very end of the trail, if memory serves me well, there's a water, there it is. Phew, water deflection, can't even see, man alive. Yeah, there's a water deflection, it's a bulk of timber. Right, that's that one down. That was a little bit challenging to say the least. Peckham, you did well, thank you very much. Okay, so this little trail I've done a few times. Never done the water crossing, so we're going to give that a bit of a go today. And let's see how we get on. It's got quite a steep descent in, but then hopefully, fingers crossed, we should be okay on our way out. I'm just going to take that nice and steady down here. This is unbelievably steep. You won't be able to see that for 1 second. Wow, this is more than like 45 degrees. So, I'm not actually on the ground now. There we are, we're in. Right. Whew. Oh no, we're sinking. That's not good. Huh. I do have this, it's not a fear of water per se, but I know I'm on my own. And we're through. Whoa! I thought we were going to get stuck there. We were most definitely digging a hole and sinking. So, on an ADV bike with the most empty, gentlest little water crossing, that is called making hard work of it. And of course, immediately thereafter, it's just a normal, bog standard, normal trail. It looks like there's been some strimmer work down here, which is pretty good. I'm not a fan of water, and I think when you're riding on your own as well, that kind of gets into your head a little bit. So let's work our way up and over the tops, down towards Semawater and Marset. Wowzers, so here we are at the start of Gilbeck Lane, and some heavy machinery, lots of timber, lots of bags ready to be airlifted up by the helicopter, and quite a lot of stone there as well. There's got to be well over a good couple of 100 tons worth of stone there, judging by how high that mound is. So there's some serious regrading in the offing for this main trail, and all the footpaths that intertwine along the tops. So I do enjoy this lane, it's a lovely lane, and once we're up on the tops we have that nice sense of elevation, and we'll take you guys along with rail cam as well. It can be quite loose, this trail, certainly with a lot of the rain runoff, and obviously four-wheel drives as well, just churning the track out. But I do like to just pick my way up. I'm very much, I think my own riding style is very much technical rather than just send it. But looking across there, wowzers, that's the first time we're looking kind of really true due south. And we can see those rain clouds building. We might get we might get wet yet by the end of today. So, next loose section. I think there are 3 turns from memory. I wonder if this is where they're going to put all of that stone, or where they have started to put the stone. Look at that, quite a bit of the limestone bedrock showing there. So that was the second one, and the third one is up ahead. Let's just light up that rear a little. What a beautiful, beautiful ascent this is. The nice thing about this trail is just the serious amount of altitude that you gain very, very quickly. And then we crest out over the tops, and we're very much onto that infamous or famous, ears have just popped, plateau-esque, which is absolutely mint. You can just traverse from one dale to the next relatively quickly, just as we are doing now. Absolutely mint. And wowzers, what a view we're greeted with when we drop off the tops, just coming down towards Summerwater, kind of towards Starlingbusk really, I guess. But yeah, this is fantastic, and I absolutely love the sense of elevation you get. The views as you round in the tops here are just incredible. Nothing overly taxing about the trail itself, a little bit loose under wheel granted, but yeah, it's just, which is good really, because you spend the majority of your time looking at the view. There can't be that many places that you ride where you've just got views like this. Rudland Rig perhaps, dropping back over towards the Durham Tees Valley, but look at that indeed. And incidentally, the campsite that I'm at tonight is just to the head of the very dale that we're looking at, in a sleepy little hamlet called Marset. Very good campsite, utterly impressed with it so far. And what's beautiful about today is that I know that the closing sections of my ride, albeit it's far from over yet, the campsite is pretty much central hub to all of that, and that's an amazing feeling really, because once I'm done, and I can feel myself getting a little bit tired now, then I know that that I'm done, and I can just get a quick hot shower, get some food on, and absolutely fantastic. Let's just have a bit of a look. But yes, the campsite is just down, nestled right down in the bottom of that dale there. Utterly beautiful. Oh, I might be about to thread the needle here. We've got, thanks folks, we've got beautiful sunshine up to our left hand side, we've got beautiful sunshine to our right hand side, and directly in front of us over towards Sadberge we've got very dark clouds. Now I know they probably won't look that dark on the GoPro, auto light adjustment, and I'm also wearing dark glasses as well, the old impact glasses. However, we turn left here and the prevailing wind is kind of whistling up the valley, so hopefully, as I say, we might just thread the needle and work our way around the back of this little rain showerette. Let's see. But before that, we're going to pick the Roman road up and we're going to head ourselves slightly away from that dodgy looking weather and up towards something a little bit brighter. This is the Roman road. So here we are, let's take a bit of a look around then. We have got the Roman road, we're at the end of that now, we're just joining the road section that we can see in front of us. Let me turn the bike off, because this is one of those things that I know that I did bring this for that sole purpose, but this really irks me. We're right next to the road. I mean, this could have been walkers, mountain bikers, it could have been anybody, but let's get our litter bag out yet again and just tidy this area up. Man alive, why do people do that? In the bag you go, and we'll dispose of that in a responsible manner, how it should have been in the first place. I mean, look at this for an area that is just utterly beautiful. Why would you just dump your litter there? You must have come along here that day and thought, wow, this is a really pretty place. I know what, let's just leave our lunch packages. Hey ho, now it's a queer as folk. So let's go have a look at Gilbeck. It is synonymous for being incredibly slippy, is Gilbeck. Very, very slippy indeed. So we'll need to take it very carefully going across the water. Not that there'll be a vast amount there. And yeah, it's not the best approach either. Thankfully this is an away gate. Thankfully, nice and level to get the bike stopped. Taking me, we're at about 45 degrees here, so yeah, let's leave the old girl in gear. Okay, so the landowner's put a note on the gate there just to say cows with calves, so we will just need to be very respectful and mindful as we work our way through. Just got to be careful not to kick the camera now. Mind, that said, we most definitely will be taking our time as we go through the ford, because it is famed for being incredibly slippy at the bottom. The descent is one of those that you kind of think, well, we've got to go through the water now, because it's not going to be the easiest of climbs to come back up and out of. As you can see, there's next to no water in it, but I guess it's in a little sun trap, so there's always lots and lots of growth. Let's just have a look. And there's also these pads on the bottom there. There's no water in here at all. I've certainly seen it where the section we're on at the moment has got water on it, but thankfully no water in there today. So this is the field with the cows and the calves, so we're just going to take it nice and steady. Cows tend not to react overly well to sudden noise, a sudden change in environment. If we came blatting over the hill, headlights blaring, exhaust blasting, I really don't fancy getting charged by half a ton of cow. The size of those, they are massive animals. So yes, that's Gilbeck done. We've just got this little farm track to work our way along now, and then we're out, and I can see somebody has jammed a drinks bottle in the fence there. Why would you do that? That's another one for the litter bag. Dear me. I mean, really, it's not even easy to get out of the bloody wall. Right, dear me, it's just ridiculous. It's a nice little lane, is Gilbeck. Not necessarily one I would do when it was somping wet, but yeah, it's not a bad little lane. That water crossing can be very slippy at the bottom, as we know, and these sections can be astronomically slippy again, as we know. Bit of limestone, bit of mud, and a bit of grass thrown in for good measure always makes for slippy conditions. So next stop, Hawes. We're going to get a little bit of provisions in Hawes for this evening, and then I think head back to the campsite, because I am starting to get a little bit tired now, just a little bit fatigued, and I don't want to push it too much, especially when I'm on my own. So that's a quick provision stop done in Hawes. We are now set for the night. The bike's a little bit heavy, just picked up a few bits and bats, couple of Old Peculiar, just to while the evening away, and then get my head down, which won't be overly late, I'm sure. I'm feeling pretty tired. Man, oh man, I don't know whether you guys can see this, but looking up there at the head of the dale, that's exactly where I'm heading. Wowzers, we have got some very dark clouds indeed. It looks like it's broken blue behind it, but yeah, we have some very dark clouds indeed. Oh, nice one. These guys are going to get the gate. That's even better. Awesome. Thank you, gents. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Quite a few with L plates on there. Good to see. Getting out and about. Much safer being out here on the trails than it is on the roads, I tell you that for a fact. Set off this morning, had a little bit of road rage. Unbelievable. Typically a rather rotund gentleman in an Audi, but hey ho, I was very polite nonetheless. So yes, here we are, just coming up to I always call it the bad step, the infamous step. It isn't really bad, that's what makes this fun. But I'm hoping that I manage to complete this circular before that weather kicks in. Mind, it is away to my right hand side, and this trail does typically bear us away to the left. Do you know, it was superb with those chaps getting that gate, because I've been on my own today. All of the gate duty is falling down to myself, and yes, I am getting a little bit weary with it. But look at that for a skyscape. Jet black over there, fluffy clouds over there, and fluffy clouds over there, grey-ish. We're going that way, that's where our campsite is. Oh, what better sight than an empty trail ahead of you. I know I moaned about the gate duty a little bit there. Well, not really moaned as such, but made comment about the gate duty. The nice thing about flying solo is you are riding completely your own ride, your own style, your own pace, just kind of everything about it is really nice. The downside, of course, is you don't have that extra comfort blanket should you need it if you drop the bike or something goes wrong. So we're just getting our game faces on a little bit. Key to all of these, as ever, is momentum, eyes forward. Try desperately to pick your line. I want to be over there. Oh look, I'm riding over that rock. I've got to deal with it now. And that is the section, the step. Nothing coming down, that's good. Let's get ourselves across. That wasn't the line that I wanted. Bucking like the proverbial bronco. And we're pretty much up really now. There's a few loose and steppy bits to contend with. There's always, particularly on these bigger, I know you guys that are hard enduro, both TRF and not, you'll be watching this thinking, man alive, that's just a walk in the park. And I guess, yeah, on a hard enduro with in skilled hands, absolutely it is. But with my skill sets where they are, and the big old heavy bike, I'm not going to use that rider excuse too much of, well, it's a big heavy bike. It is more to do with my skill sets. But yes, where they are, I find that quite challenging and very enjoyable, don't get me wrong. I do find it incredibly enjoyable. And I am here by choice, being on my own as well. And look at this for a sense of elevation, just fantastic. That distant hill just off there, just slightly to the right of centre, is one of the Yorkshire Dales 3 peaks, Pennygent. And that breeze is picking up as well, which is synonymous for a little bit of rain. You always get compressed wind underneath the rain. That is my inner yachtsman coming out. So I'm going to work my way along here, just enjoy this elevation. I've got one more new to me trail to do. It's one that DC has pointed out a few times, and he does rib me about it. He says, have you done it yet, have you done it yet? So I'm going to take a look today, given how dry everything is. And that should bring me nicely off the end of here. Well, the trail isn't off the end of here, but off the end of here, and nicely towards the top of the Roman Road. And those that know will know exactly the trail that I'm talking about. Thank you very much, Pegcam. So this is the penultimate trail. And you know when you start to think to yourself, should I have come along here? I'm not entirely sure, but let's give it a whirl all the same. It has been dry for some time. It's not so much the terrain, I guess, it's just my nemesis, those ruts. I can certainly see why DC said leave this one till the dry. Man alive, it's been dry for so long, yet it's still quite wet under wheel. Now that gate was open. Okay, yeah, looking at the map we're all good. So I can see that been quite a boggy bit, reminiscent of getting the bike bogged down when we were on Knipe Lane there. That was in the video Not All Heroes Wear Capes. Thankfully, that's quite a popular lane. This one, I think at this time of day, you know, we're the day's virtually done now really, as far as most trail riders are concerned. So if the bike gets bogged, it's probably staying here. But thank you very much for this, DC. It's good to look at new trails and new options. At least I know so far. Okay, famous last words. I guess, you know, when I did that Triumph course, and I've still got to go back and finish that off and do the level 3, the guys were saying there, you know, ruts, if they are your nemesis, then embrace that nemesis, force yourself to do them, because you're never going to get good. I wish. You're never going to master them unless you force yourself. Right. I wonder whether I just... Let's just keep the bike moving. Yep. Those little bits, they look inauspicious, you know, but they can just swallow a whale. And if you lose momentum, as we all know, on these big adventure bikes, that is game over. And this little section here, I've left the gate closed just as livestock behind me. I don't want it bolting through. This little section here is quite synonymous for obviously getting the bike bogged down. Let's have a look. You can see how slippy it is underfoot. I'm going to opt to go a little bit wider there. Don't necessarily like doing that, but it looks a lot firmer than coming across here where the watercourse actually is. Yeah, I think I'd sink there. Don't have the skill sets to hustle the bike through. But on this side with the thicker grass, it does look, if I just stick up here, see that's quite deep but it's grippy underneath, it looks like I've got options. So that's the bike through, as you can now see, and with the exception, I came round wide here, with the exception of my footprint earlier, this is where I've tracked through. Take nothing but photographs, leave nothing but footprints. So yes, I'm actually really pleased with that we haven't damaged the land at all. We're not over yet. I believe we've got quite a steep last little quarter down to the road. So yes, very, very good trail so far. Really enjoying this, really enjoying it. There we go. Yeah, that's a good trail. Thank you, DC. That is a good trail. Another one that I know what to expect on now, and most importantly, what conditions that I can ride it on, and what conditions that I can't. I'm not overly concerned about being a passenger here because I can see it goes quite gravelly, and straight away, yep, oodles of grip. Absolutely fantastic. Really good. Really, really good. There's something nice about ticking off a new to me trail. Now I can see the campsite from here just periodically every time the valley floor opens out. So yes, I know that food and refreshments, they are not far away now. This is pretty much my last trail. I'm going to get to the bottom of the Roman road. So while I pull over and get this gate, I know that GoPros throw everything like a gazillion miles away, obviously. So let me show you where the campsite is. We've done like quite a major circumnavigation of the national park today, but our campsite, Semel Water, we can just see in the middle distance there, those hills way off and away. They're the ones that we're over this morning, and this tiny little hamlet with the colourful dots down the bottom, that's our campsite. Utterly beautiful, very remote, and it's just about to get a few spitter spats of rain, the bulk of which appears to have gone over to the other side. So yeah, I really enjoy the Roman road. I can actually see it tracking away down there. Then I pick the road section up and just drop down to the village. Perfect.
Okay then folks, so that sees me back at the campsite now, a little bit demontaged from the bike and a little bit set up with the tent. So just time to grab a quick shower over in the ablution block there, which I'm going to thoroughly enjoy. I got very hot today, and also the provisions that we picked up in Hawes there, nothing other than the one and only the Theakston's Old Peculiar. So I'm going to enjoy this back at the tent and then get myself sorted, and we'll be in the showers. So the final thing for me to say to you guys is hopefully you have stuck with me to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, then please hit that subscribe button. That does wonders for the YouTube algorithm. And also give the video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share, and please do leave a comment as well. I do my level best to reply to every comment that I get, both positive and negative. So as I head towards the tent, we've got these few rain clouds just rattling around, and thankfully we've avoided all of the rain today. Tiny little drizzle, nothing really to write home about. I'm going to hit the showers, and the final thing for me to say to you guys, as always, is to put the beer down without spilling it. Wherever you are in the world, guys, Whatever you're doing, keep it safe, keep it shiny side up, and we will catch you for the next one. Cheers folks, bye now, bye.